Well, hello everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. What did you make of that one? Leeds holding Man United out to a score draw here at the Strawberry Arena. But yeah, everybody, I thought it was a really interesting game. Listen, we've got a little bit of a prize bit for you as well. As you can see, not there, but as you can see on screen right now, if you have to like this video and be subscribed to the channel, register on GNO, link in the description below, everybody. You can become part of the GNO members club absolutely free. If you send a message to hello@shopgno.com saying one Leeds, there will basically be four of you that we will pick to get a brand new Leeds United shirt. That's it. Just enter the members club. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribed, and we will cross-reference all of those with Shop GNO, and that'll be it. You can win a Leeds United shirt. Get involved, everybody. You might as well. Okay, so in that game in particular, make sure you're engaging as well with the watch long. Everybody, we had 2.8k in the building on that one. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. It was a really good stream. So overall, the things that started, the thing that was stark for me was this guy. Okay, so confirmed before kickoff, Fabrizio Romano. Here we go, and that's why we've got him on screen right now. The exciting compartment of that midfield, someone who's going to bring in a lot of press resistance, a shielder, someone who can work in a single pivot, someone who can work in a double pivot. The starter in every single game that Leeds United should play, in my opinion, because he can do everything of which we want in that midfield. Now, it was so interesting in particular. And that's a great place to start the midfield. Sean Longstaff, it's kind of what I was explaining at the start, in my opinion, when it comes down to Sean. Play the way you're facing, box to box midfielder, but I'm not going to add attributes to Sean. He is a box to box midfielder who is dynamic from the right hand side of a midfield three. I thought the 4-3-3 was interesting today. I thought it worked in a certain sense, but you saw the midfield component, didn't you, everybody? I thought Altanaka was superb. I thought Ethan Ampadu was superb. He grew into the game after that first sort of 5 or 10 minutes, was giving the ball away a little bit, but then he grew, was opening his body up when he knew that there was a person coming and pressing him, one of the Man United players, and he was able to move past, pivot past that, and still play the ball forward. What I love about Ethan is in that double pivot, he can still shoulder roll. So he'll drop his shoulder, play the ball on that little side, give him a yard of space, and then he'll play it around the corner. He won't go lateral, he won't go back, or he will do in certain instances, but he can just shoulder drop, move the ball onto that right foot, and he's got enough just agility over a 3 to 5 yard space where he can do that and still play the ball around the corner. He was doing that, and I think that's where Leeds were getting a lot of joy. Really good, really enjoyed that double pivot. And against still a Manchester United of which we had to keep quiet. You had Cunha in there, Bruno Fernandes occupying just that midfield space. Was really impressed with that as a double pivot. And he kind of saw Al Tanaka really, and of what we've been speaking about during this period of time, of which has kind of revolved really around Al Tanaka maybe not being able to compete against some of the top teams physically. That could still be a thing. If Leeds want to go to a low block, if Leeds want to have four defenders or five defenders effectively with the goalkeeper and have three compact midfielders, all big, all physical, all athletic, you'd have Longstaff in their stack and Ethan Ampadu. Okay, combative at least. Maybe not so much big with Ethan Ampadu, but they'd all be within an invisible sort of a rope length with each other. You drag yourselves in, you compact, you're hard to beat. That's what you want. But Al Tanaka is just so press resistant, so cool, so calm, so composed. It's difficult for me to say that you get rid of him. But in a three, I think it's either going to be Ampadu or Tanaka. I think he's going to leave one of them out. I think Longstaff starts. I've just got a feeling. I think Longstaff starts in a midfield, and I think Anton Stack obviously comes in and starts as well. But really interesting. I thought that defense, I really liked Beal in there. There was a couple of times as well when he was on both feet. Did you notice that in the game, everybody? He'd be passing out on his right and his left. Thought he looked composed. Thought he looked really calm as well and assured in that back line. Rodon, they were both being put under pressure. They were both being put under pressure by quite an aggressive Man United front line. Leeds coped with it really well, I thought, in that first half. We have to talk about Jaden Bogle. We have to talk about William Yonto and Tanaka. Basically, what was happening is Tanaka on the right-hand side of that midfield was basically like we used to see with the likes of Matthias Klick, like we used to see with Luke Ayling and Helder Costa. There was a little trio. We used to see that all the time with Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds United. This was happening again. You saw it on the left-hand side when it came to Gruev, Byram and Harrison. You saw it on the right-hand side when it came to Tanaka, Bogle, and Nonto. And the beautiful thing about William Nonto is he closes the space. He closes the space. Dan James elongates the space and he goes long. Willie closes the space. And basically, you get more sequences, you get more combination play. And that was working to absolute beautiful effect in that first half. Willie was coming short. They'd play little 1-2s and the ball would be played over the top for Jaden. I thought Jaden Bogle was unbelievable. When he was being pressed, he was able to get out of it in tight spaces. The same with Nonto. And that's why that combination between those two is a real facilitator for a certain style of play that Leeds want to play. If you want to get out of trouble, you play the ball over the top to James. If you want to be technical in effect and you want to break Leeds apart and get beyond and in and around the crucial spaces, you start Bogle and Nonto. What an incredible option to have. Let's talk about the left-hand side. Nowhere near good enough. I don't like the fact that Byram is a option, in my opinion. I get the fact that it's homegrown. I understand that it's a fan favorite option, but I'm not just going to go with the fan favorite option here. I'm going to give my honest opinion. Sam Byram and Gruev and Harrison as just a trio, and that won't happen often. But I wouldn't even like to see Anton Stack dealt with the task of elevating Sam Byram and Jack Harrison at any effect on that left hand side. I think Sam Byram, you saw yet again where when he's put under any sort of press on that left hand side, he reverts to going backwards because he's not confident to open his body up and distribute on that left hand side or even cut in. I think what Sam Byram is on that left side is a runner. Okay, so he won't advance with the ball, on the ball. He's a runner. So let's say if Gruev gets it in a left back position, of which he does when it comes to Leeds United build up, you'll get Sam running centrally and trying to almost get into that attacking midfield space. And Gruev will look to pass it forward, build up between Harrison, maybe facilitates that of Sam Byram roaming into that space. But not for me. I don't want him as left back cover. That's not a disparaging comment on Sam. I like Sam, but I don't think it's quality enough when put under a press by any team. And I don't think Man United are orchestrated in a sense as well, where the wingers are press heavy consistently. I think when you look at Brighton in particular under Herzler, I think when you look at Iriola's Bournemouth and just teams like this in and around the mid bracket, those teams, if Sam Byram is forced to start because maybe of a Goodmanson injury, will, I think, really expose Sam Byram and it will be a ploy because he really struggles to build up on that left hand side. So you press him, in effect, make him go back, make Leeds go long. You go long a lot of the time, and there might be a 50-50 chance that you pick up the ball as we saw in that second half. So what I wanted to talk about as well is Nemecha. I thought Nemecha was really good. I thought there was a big difference between him and Perot in terms of Leeds being facilitated again, using that F word, being able to build up, hit Nemecha. Nemecha, I thought had a success rate against Delict, which was probably I'd say it was more successful than Delict's winners up against him. I thought Nemecha was strong, he was powerful, he was good on the ball, and I think you get Peru as a third in and behind Rodrigo Muniz if we get him and Nemecha. I think Nemecha, if fit, is a much better option than Peru, in my opinion. Peru did okay in the second half, but once again, we saw a scenario in that second half after that first 5 to 10 minute spell where Peru was struggling to hold the ball up against Man United centre backs. Leeds was struggling to get out. So effectively, you're trying to be direct, but you can't be direct because you've got a player up there who stylistically isn't a hold-up player, isn't a number 9. So that I thought that was a bit of a problem. But when Nemecha was there in the first half, which is more likely going to be Leeds' starting option, thought he was really decent. Was really impressed by him. Gabby Goodmanson came in, liked his overlapping runs. I thought at some points the ball maybe got stuck under his feet, and you could maybe just play the ball in around and behind Gabby Goodmanson. But overall, I liked his duel rate. I thought he was strong in the tackle. I thought his perception of where the ball was going to land was good as well. They were trying to 1-2 around him a couple of times, which we've seen from his highlights. I wonder if that was a ploy from Man United. But a couple of 1-2s, balls over into the channels, which they were trying to do quite a little bit, to be fair. I thought he recovered well, got on the end of connection, got on the end of the ball well, made good connections with it. But I thought it was abundantly clear that when Tanaka and Ampadu came off, in particular in that midfield, Leeds lost a little bit of control. But overall, I thought Bogle was exceptional. I thought Nemecha was very good. I thought Nonto was very, very good as well. And you can see stylistically how Leeds are going to work around this when it comes to profiles. But overall, I thought it was a good outing from Leeds United. I just want to touch on Jack Harrison a little bit towards the end. I don't agree with the boos. I've mentioned this several times. I just come from a performance perspective when it comes to Leeds United. That is just a little bit of a bonus problem for me. But this is the positive of today. Anton Stack coming to Leeds United. That's the massive positive for today. But Jack Harrison, look, how many times we said it on this channel? 5 years, 7, 8 years when it comes to another channel as well. Jack Harrison is not good enough for Leeds United. He would be our fifth winger. Some people think I'm harsh for saying that, but more obvious nature today. Under a press, goes back. Hot and cold Harrison was dragging his shorts up, looking at the sky when he'd do things wrong. Not only that, 2 opportunities to cross the ball into the box, completely wayward. No sort of efficiency when it comes to that decision making. So I never want to see Byram. I never want to see Harrison if I'm being honest with you guys, near to the starting 11 for Leeds United. You guys might have different opinions on that, especially when it comes to Bayern, but I don't. I think it's better. I think there's better teams in terms of pressing efficiency that will get so much joy from that. So overall, though, some really positive things in that performance. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, get involved in the competition, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.